everyone, and welcome back to my channel. We are doing yet another unhaul. If you recognize this location, I am in Texas, back in my hometown on vacation, and I am cleaning up my childhood room. This is the state of my bookcase as I'm speaking. If you have, because you might have basically watched the video where I introduce what my bookshelves looked like when I came back on the very first day from Japan to, I didn't say that right. I came to Japan. No, I came to Austin on vacation from Japan. The very first day I walked into my room, I did dust a little bit, but I showed you the state of my shelves. This is where we're at right now, and I'm unhauling a lot of books, which are being split into parts so I don't have absurdly long videos like I have a tendency of doing. Last time I introduced all the Japanese books that I'm getting rid of. Next, I'm giving just a general pile that doesn't really fit any sort of category. First book I am getting rid of is A Connecticut Yankee at King Arthur's Court by Mark Twain. I have not read this, but I do not like Mark Twain. I am not going to read this. It's going away. That's simple. Next book is Incredible Childhood Memories. It is a complete pet owner's manual to Dalmatians. I had a Dalmatian as a child, and this is the book that my brothers and I studied so that we could persuade our parents that we could take care of a Dalmatian. And it's a very good manual. I'm sure, I don't know if it exists anymore, but it was very good. And every time I see a Dalmatian on the streets, I can't help but thinking of my dog. So yeah, good memories, but we don't, he passed away. We don't have a Dalmatian anymore, so this can be donated now, I think. Back to regular books, I have On Chesil Beach by Ian McEwan. This is the only Ian McEwan. I'm not familiar how to pronounce his last name now that I think about it. It's the only book I read of him, but I kind of pretty much hated it. Not so much that I didn't think it was well written. It is well written. Actually, the frustration toward the main characters is kind of the point of the book. Basically, it's about a young couple. I don't even remember how old they were, but basically just old enough to get married, basically. And it's about their first night together in a sexual way. And this takes place in 1962, so again, it's the whole point of the book. The whole point of the book is to show like the sexual awkwardness between these couples that just aren't ready to get married or never should have get married, but because of that time period, that's kind of the situation they find themselves in. So in terms of that, the book was successful, but that doesn't mean I'm not allowed to hate it. Like, even understanding the reason for this book, I just hated it so much. And my mom's already read it as well, and she also hated it. So we both hated it, and we have pretty much very similar tastes. I think I venture out a little bit more than her as I read a lot of historical nonfiction and things like that. But when it comes to fiction, we share quite similar tastes, but we both hated it. So no one else in my family is going to read this, so this can't leave the home. But it's actually a really good book. It's just, as a personal reaction, I hated this. But it is objectively a very good book, and anyone else can like this if you're into this author. I would recommend it for those readers who are into this. Sounds really weird, but yeah. The next book I'm getting rid of is 3 plays by Federico Garcia Lorca. That includes The Blood Wedding, Yerma, and The House of Bernarda Alba. This is from high school. I had to read La Casa de Bernarda Alba in high school, and then we also bought this English translation so that we can compare the translation and the Spanish original version. I have made the decision to get rid of all my Spanish related books, which will be again in another separate video, but this is just something I'm getting rid of. The plays are excellent, I can tell you that. Federico Garcia Lorca writes really amazing plays that focus on like the general drama of the household, and these are incredibly famous plays. Anyone who studies Spanish basically has to read this, more or less. So highly recommended. It's just in this time of my life, I no longer need to keep this. That's why I'm getting rid of this. But very, very highly recommended. 3 Plays by Federico Garcia Lorca. Yeah, excellent, excellent. Next 2 books, one of them I hated and one of them I love, but again, or not again, but I mentioned in my Japan related Unhaul video that I'm getting rid of all hardcover books. So that includes The Scarlet Letter and Frankenstein. Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I love this book. This is a book, I read it, turned the last page and read it again, basically. Like, I absolutely love this. Just getting rid of these hardcover editions because they take up a lot of space. Also, The Scarlet Letter, on the other hand, absolutely hated this book. Both of these I had to read in high school, but The Scarlet Letter, I just hated it. I mean, it's obviously objectively good. It's important in terms of like the references that you'll have all your life with the Scarlet A, and you know, it's definitely important to read in terms just to understand references to your everyday life. But I still hated this book. And sometimes I don't even know if it's that I hated the book. I just think I just hated the analysis of the book. But in any case, I'm getting rid of both of these. But Frankenstein, I absolutely adore. That book is amazing. It's such a good book. Next book I'm getting rid of that I actually do recommend, but it's Celebration in the Northwest by Ana Maria Matute. Once again, I read this in high school for my Spanish studies. It's the tragic tale of hatred between 2 half-brothers, where Ana Maria Matute is one of the 20th century Spain's most important writers. So if you're into reading major women's voices around the world, Ana Maria Matute is definitely highly recommended. This is a really, really great book. And if you're into the Cain and Abel story, then this is a good way. Another really excellent version of that. So very good, but just getting rid of it because no longer really into no, I'm still into my Spanish life, but just right now because of Japan, definitely my focus is elsewhere. And to end this video, I am getting rid of 3 books. When I was young, I had a brief stint reading fantasy. I read like the original Shannara trilogy by Terry Brooks, which was like the Elfstones of Shannara, the Druid of Shannara, and something else of Shannara. And I actually really enjoyed those, but then another trilogy I read trilogy was the Miss of Avalon trilogy. So I read the Miss of Avalon, the Lady of Avalon, and the Forest House. So this is the original trilogy of the Miss of Avalon. Since then, more books had come out by Marion Zimmer Bradley. I read this. Gosh, I fell in love with these. I was hooked. Like, when did I read these? I think like 5th grade or something. Like, I was young, but I read pretty advanced books when I was young. But yeah, I absolutely love these books. And definitely not against fantasy, but it's just not something I read right now. But yeah, but during my very brief stint of fantasy when I was young, I absolutely love these books, but no one else in my family is going to read them, so I can get rid of them, I think. So yeah. Okay, so that's Unhaul Part 2. I will see you soon in my Texas Unhaul Part 3 video. So thanks for watching. See you again. Bye.